Welcome back. In this video, I'll be showing you how you can design this thumbnail design on PixelLab. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more design tips and inspiration. Don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment below. And to my returning viewers, thank you so much for your continued support. Okay, now let's head straight to PixelLab to get started. Okay, so this is PixelLab, and the first thing we'll be doing now is to delete the default text. And after we've deleted the default text, it's required of us to change the size to that of the required YouTube thumbnail size. Okay, so PixelLab already has a saved YouTube thumbnail size, so we'll just click on it and we'll make use of it. So this is the size. We'll click on OK. Okay, so now after I've done that, the next thing I'll be doing is to be importing the background I'll be working with. So for the course of this video, I'll be working with this particular background. So I'll just click on this background and I'll be changing the aspect ratio to 1:1 here. Okay, and I'll click on good. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and introduce the grid lines. I'll introduce grid lines and I'll be placing this design at this right side here, and I'll go ahead to increase it. Okay, so this is okay. So now I'll just copy this. I'll copy this and I'll place the other half here, so the intercept at the center. Okay, so after I've done that, I'll be merging the two together. I'll be merging the two together like this, and I'll click on OK to merge. Okay, so after that, while still keeping the grid lines on, we'll go over to our shape tool. We'll go over to shapes. Okay, so but before I click on shape, I'll be locking this design so it doesn't move around. So I'll go over to shapes and I'll be introducing a square shape, and I'll be adjusting it in this way, and I'll just reduce it until it fits into this place, and I'll click on OK. So now I'll be locking this shape we created, and I'll be unlocking the background we also created. So now I can turn off the grid lines. So for the background, I'll just click on copy. I'll be copying the background. See, we've copied it. And for the back one, which is this, we'll go over to color filters. We want to give it a dull color, so we reduce the saturation to -100, and for the brightness we'll be reducing it to -37, like this. Okay, and for this other one, after we've adjusted the background at the back, we'll go ahead to lock it. And for this other one we copied, we'll just go to relative position to align it at the center. Then we'll go over to crop, and we'll be cropping it to the right side because this is the only part we need to be bright. Copy it here, and we'll go to our relative position tool, and we'll be sending it to the right part of the design like this. Okay, so after we've done that, we'll just be taking this particular shape forward like this, and we'll be locking everything. Okay, so now we've created the background on what we want to work with. Okay, so now we'll go over to import again, and we'll be introducing this YouTube icon PNG, this YouTube icon rather. And now I'll have to remove the white background, so I'll go over to erase color and enable erase color, and I'll just be increasing the tolerance to let me say 30 is okay. Be increasing the tolerance to 30. Okay, so after that I'll just reduce it and place it over here. Okay, and I will introduce the grid line again to set the pattern or the places I want this icon to accommodate or be. So I'll also copy here, and I'll be setting it like this. Okay, so now we'll be taking this icon up a little bit. We'll be taking it upwards like this, and we'll be changing the color. We'll click on color, we'll enable the color, and we'll be changing the color. So from here, we'll just go over to this pen here to add the hex code of the color we want to use for this particular design. So we'll be changing it to the hex code color will be changing is FE then 0000. So this is the hex code. Just click on good and OK. and this is the color I'll be using. So we'll go ahead to copy this also. We'll be copying the icon and we'll be positioning it in the other part of the design like this. Okay, and for this other part we'll be going over to change the color. So we'll go over to color and we'll be adding a gray color to it. So we'll click on pen and we'll be adding the hex code of the gray color we want to add to it. So we'll just input the hex code. The hex code is 7F7F7F, and we'll just click on good and click on OK. Okay, so now we'll be adding a shape to this. We'll click on circle. We want to cover this part of the YouTube icon that is open. So we'll just go over to shapes and I'll be introducing a circle. And I'll just reduce the circle like this and place it over here. And for this circle we'll be choosing the color as that of the color we chose for the PNG, which is this color, and we'll click on OK. So now we'll be merging the YouTube icon and the circle we just introduced. We'll just click on OK. Okay, so for the other part we'll be doing the same thing. We'll go over to shapes. We'll be introducing the circle shape and we'll click on OK, and then we'll just reduce it. We'll reduce here and place it over here, and we'll be selecting the same color as of the logo icon rather, and we'll be merging this and this together. Okay, so now we've created it. Go ahead to lock all the images. Yes, and we'll be turning off the grid lines now to see if what we're doing is actually progressing. And yes, okay, so now after that I'll be introducing a gear or setting icon, which is this. Be introducing it because since the video is going to talk about settings, we'll have to import a setting or a gear icon. Okay, so now I'll go over to color. I'll introduce the color, and now I'll be selecting this color that looks like white. Okay, let me show you. This is the hex code of the color we'll be using for the gear icon. I'll just click on OK. Okay, now I'll just go ahead to reduce it a little bit. Let me go over to relative size and we'll be reducing it a little bit like this. Okay, so let's introduce our grid lines and we'll be adding a vertical line here. We'll be doing so for the other side. Okay, because we want all our design to be aligned. Okay, so now clicking on the gear icon, I'll just use the position tool to adjust it a little bit. Okay, so after I've done that, I'll go ahead and copy this. I'll click on copy and I'll be using the position tool also to adjust this at the center. Just turn off the grid lines. Okay, so for this I'll be locking the gear icons. So for this other part of the design, I want to add a crack to the icon. So I'll just go over to import, and I downloaded a crack. So I'll be leaving all the elements I use for this particular thumbnail in the description below, so you can go ahead and download it. So I'll be placing this here. I'll be placing this over here to give it this crack effect. I'll place it here, and I'll go ahead and I'll merge the two together, both the crack and the gear of that other part. Okay, so after I've merged it, I'll just click on it and I'll go over to eraser. I'll go over to the eraser tool. I'll just increase the size of the eraser tool and I will erase all these parts that we don't want to be visible. And we'll just click on OK. So we've achieved something like this. Okay, so now it's time for us to add our text. So I'll go over to text and I'll be writing here. I'll be writing off. I'll go ahead to increase the size. Okay, 75 is okay. And I will introduce the grid lines and I'll be using our position tool to move it this way until it rests here. Okay, so after doing that, I'll go over to font. I'll be changing the font of this particular text. we'll go over to my fonts, and I'll be selecting this jumper personal font here. Okay, so once I've selected it, I'll just go over to spacing. I'll be increasing the spacing to my 2, and I'll use the position tool again to adjust it at the center like this. Okay, so I will copy this text, and I'll use the relative position tool to take it to the right, and I'll use the position tool to adjust it. So for this part of the design, we'll edit this text and we'll be writing on exactly like this, and we'll go over to position tool again to adjust it at the center. Okay, so we're done for the upper text. I'll go ahead to lock the text also. Okay, so now for this down part, I want to write views for the both sides. So I'll go over to text and I'll just write in views. Okay, so I'll bring this one down. Sorry, I'll use the position tool to bring this down. Let me introduce the grid lines again. So it's good to work with the grid line, so it gives you a guide or a pattern of how your design should be aligned. So just increase the spacing a little bit, and you use the position tool again to adjust it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and copy this. I'll copy this and I'll be moving it to the right part of the design. So I'll go over to relative position and I'll be sending it here, so it will be easier to adjust. Okay, so I'll just click on this text again and copy, and now I'll be writing in I want to put in something like 100, or let me say 500, and I'll be changing the font of this. So I'll go over to font, I'll go over to my font, and let's look for a bold font to use. Okay, let's try this font and see. Okay, I think I like this font, so we'll just use the position tool to adjust it here, and we'll go ahead and copy this. We'll copy this and we'll send it to the right part of the design using the relative position tool, and just take it down, and we'll use our position tool to adjust this also. Okay, so let me go ahead and lock this. Okay, so now let me turn off the grid line. Now we want to create something that looks like an arrow, a downward arrow and an upward arrow. So how do we do that? We'll just go over to our shape, we'll introduce our shape, increase the radius, or you can go ahead and select a circle directly, and for here we'll be changing the color of this circle. So we'll go over to color, we'll enable the color. Okay, so for this part we'll be selecting this red color, this particular red color, and we'll just go ahead and copy this also. We'll copy this, and for this part, okay, let me leave this here. For this part we'll be selecting a green color. So we'll go ahead to color, and we'll be selecting a green color, this particular green color. Let me show you the hex code. So this is the hex code of the green color we'll be using for this part. Okay, and now after doing that, we'll click on arrow here. And we'll turn off the stroke width of this arrow, and we'll be increasing the head of the arrow. We'll be increasing the size of the arrow rather. Okay, and we'll be increasing the head of the arrow like this. Okay, so after we've done that, we'll just go over to rotate tool, or you can use your hand to rotate it how you want it. Okay, and I'll go ahead to reduce the size like this. So we'll go over to relative size. Let's adjust this. Use our hand to rotate it if you want, or you can use your relative position tool. Okay, and we'll use our normal position tool to adjust this at the center. Okay, so you just keep doing this until it's perfectly aligned. Then we'll go ahead and merge the circle and the arrow together like this. Okay, and I'll go ahead and reduce the size. We'll go over to relative size. Let me say let me reduce it to 6. So let's see how. Okay, 6 is okay. Then I'll use our position tool to bring it down like this. Use our position, and I'll be adjusting it this place. Okay, so for this other side, we'll introduce the arrow again. Introduce the arrow. So we'll be increasing the size to 17 like this. Or okay, 17. We'll be increasing the size to 17, and we'll be increasing the end arrow, which is this side. Let me say okay, this is okay, and I'll go ahead to rotate it. Then okay, we'll just click on edit. So we'll be removing the stroke width. Removing the stroke width, and we'll go over to relative size to reduce the arrow like this, as we did for the first one, but this time we'll be rotating it so it will be facing upward, something like this. Okay, and we'll be using our position tool to just quickly adjust this. Okay, so after that we'll be merging the circle and the arrow together, and we'll go ahead to relative size and be reducing the size to 6 as of we did for the first one, and we'll just use our relative position tool to place it at the right part of the design. Okay, and let's place this here. Okay, but since the background here is green, let's just add a white stroke to this. We click on stroke and reduce it to 1. Okay, let me go ahead and reduce the relative size to 5 and use our position tool to adjust this. Okay, let's do same for this other one. Let's add the stroke to it and reduce it to 1, and we'll be reducing the size of that and also adjusting it at the center here. Okay, so let's try aligning this. We'll be aligning this, and so everything will be aligned together. Let's introduce our our grid line, so it will be all aligned. Okay, we'll do same for the other part of the design. So after that, you just go ahead and lock everything, and this is the design. Then you click on save as image, and I'll advise you save as ultra. You just click on save to gallery. Okay, so this is how to make this YouTube thumbnail. Thank you for watching to the end. If you gain value from this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell.